Hi there, Hilary here for Waterlogged on behalf of saltwateraquarium.com. I don't know about you, but I love to make goals and resolutions, if you will, for the new year. Now I'm curious, if you are also one of those people that likes to make goals, leave a comment below, let me know how you did on your goals for 2022. I've spent a good bit of time reflecting on things that I accomplished in 2022, some of the things that I slacked on in 2022, and everything that I want to work on in 2023. I like to set goals for myself because it helps to hold me accountable with myself as I go throughout the year. I can check in on that list and see what I maybe need to work a little bit harder on. I also like to set goals because it forces me to challenge myself and better myself as a businesswoman, as a aquarist, all aspects of your life. It can be beneficial. But why am I telling you? Well, two-part. One is to help hold me accountable. If you see me at a trade show, I would love for you to come up and ask how I'm doing in accomplishing my goals for this year. And another part of that is hopefully I will inspire you to maybe set some goals for yourself. Then together we can grow as aquarist and hobbyist. So let me tell you a couple of the goals that I have for this year. First comes first, that is doing better at water changes and water testing. 2022 was an absolute crazy year with respect to travel. I attended a lot of the major trade shows throughout the year, and in addition to that, I was searching for a new home. I was also moving halfway across the country with the new home, and things didn't go as well as planned through all of that. And honestly, I could have been better when it comes to water testing and water changes. Not to say that I didn't do it at all, but there's a lot of room for improvement, and that's one of the big things that I want to work on in 2023. I'm going to take a pause from talking to you about my goals to remind you, if you haven't looked at the expiration dates on your test kits, go do that now. If those test kits, if any of the reagents or the powders, the liquids have expired, you need a new test kit. And now you might not want to spend the money, but if those are expired, you might not be getting correct results, which means you might not be in as good of shape as you think you are for your water quality. So go ahead and get those things reordered now before it's too late. Okay, moving on to area number 2 that I want to accomplish, and that is getting everyone, well, all of my fish and corals settled in their real homes. Not that they don't have homes now, but everybody is, for the most part, in temporary tanks, and I want to have them be settled. You might be aware that I am in the middle of doing a build series. I've got a Red Sea Reefer 425 tank that I'm in the process of building, so all of my corals and most of the fish that were in the reef tank and then some that were not in the reef tank are going to go in that tank. So once that's up, I can break down my temporary coral tank and then I can install a new tank for my red hairy hermit crab. And if all goes according to plan, hopefully I will get enough home renovations done. All right, the third thing on my list, and it kind of goes along with my new tank, is to try and be more environmentally friendly and environmentally conscious. That's one thing that's really important to me, and to be honest, I kind of slacked over the past year. So in 2023, I want to be a lot better at it. And I can do that when it comes to the fish and coral that I use to stock the tank. All of the fish that I'm going to add to the tank, if there's the option to buy captive bred, I'm definitely going to go that way. Along the same lines, if there is a fish that's on my list that I want to put in the tank that needs to be adopted, I'm happy to adopt it and give it a home in my tank. Doing that, it kind of reduces the stress on the wild populations, and it ensures that a fish that didn't have a home now does, and it also is going to support the science around captive breeding and aquaculture of tropical fish. Now, another aspect of stocking my tank and where I can be a little bit greener, if you will, is the corals. I don't have a large variety here where I live, which means I'm either going to have to order it and get it shipped to my house or bring it back myself. I've already mentioned I get to go to a lot of the trade shows, and there's tons of coral vendors with glorious, beautiful corals, and I'm gonna bring some home, which means I need to go ahead and get my little coral travel container so that I can bring them home. Now the benefit of this is that I'm going to be reducing my carbon footprint, so I won't be having corals, or as many corals being shipped across the US or wherever they're coming from. Along the same lines, it's going to reduce the amount of plastic bags that those are coming in. And if you've ever gotten corals or fish, you know sometimes there can be quite a few plastic bags. So hopefully by doing that, by getting those captive bred fish and by bringing corals home from shows, I'm going to be able to reduce my single-use plastic. All right, the last thing that's on my list that I want to accomplish in 2023 is kind of a big one, and I'm going to need your help. So a lot of you have told me how much you really enjoyed the waterlogged videos that were behind the scenes at Aquarium in the Pacific. And I gotta say, those are some of my favorite videos too. I absolutely love going to visit public aquariums and seeing how they do things. It's really cool because everybody does things a little bit differently than everybody else. Now, additionally, when you go behind the scenes at public aquariums, you're often privy to some of the cool stuff, the science, the conservation projects that they are working on. Now, I know for a fact that there are a handful of aquariums that are in Florida, not too far from where I'm going to be going for the big trade shows, that are working on projects like this. So cross your fingers. Hopefully I will be able to film some more behind the scenes videos at the aquariums, and not just be able to show you behind the scenes, but also be able to show you some of the science and the coral conservation work that these places are doing, because it is absolutely amazing. And I would love to be able to share that with you. All right, that wraps up my goals for aquarium keeping for 2023. I'm curious to know, now that you've heard this, what are some goals that you have for keeping aquariums? All right, this has been Hilary for Waterlogged on behalf of saltwateraquarium.com. Thank you so much for watching, and Happy New Year!